Good morning, children. In this chapter, as we have studied about globalization, how globalization has impacted the people here. So, today we are going to discuss about the struggle for a fair globalization. As we have already studied that the above evidences which indicates that not everyone has benefited from globalization. We have discussed different people have benefited differently, especially people with education, skill and wealth have made the best use of new opportunities, or the benefits of globalization were had much impact on the people who are educated and skilled. Then what about the other people? How many people or many other people who have not shared the benefit of globalization? There was no impact on the people or poor people or uneducated or unskilled people. The globalization has not benefited them. Since globalization, we know it's a reality here, or globalization has spread all over the world. The question comes how it can make the globalization more fairer, how the impact or it can be benefited to all the people, all categories of people, all flock of people here. So how these opportunities can be made fairer to all people, also can ensure that the government can ensure that how the benefit of globalization reach all people here. Government can play some of the better schemes they can make and make it possible. So this policy of government can protect the interest not only the rich and the powerful, it also can be benefited. These policies government can make for the benefit of all the people of the country. So we have studied that what are the possible steps the government can take. For instance, we can say the government can ensure that the labor laws are properly implemented here. We know there are many labor laws existing in our country, but these are not properly implemented. That is one of the problem of facing due to the globalization also. If these labor laws are properly implemented, workers also get their rights. Okay, it can support small producers or to improve their performance till the time they become strong enough to compete. Due to the globalization, we know there are many of the goods imported into our country. Our producers or the domestic producers are unable to compete with the products imported into our country. So here it's necessary that the government can use trade and investment barriers, strict or restriction on the investment. Especially we studied about the MNCs, they are coming to India and investing largely here. Also restrict some of the imports, some goods which are importing into our country. Also this type of rules or laws, if government or the schemes government have, if implemented here, it can be benefited to the small producers. The globalization will be more beneficial to the small producers or other people. Okay, so it is also necessary that the government can negotiate with the World Trade Organization for fairer rules. Already we studied that WTO or the World Trade Organization is always favorable to the developed nations, not to the developing nations or underdeveloped nations. Okay, so in the past few years we have studied that there are massive campaigns and representation of the people's organization. These have influenced the important decisions relating to trade and investments of the World Trade Organization. So these campaigns have made World Trade Organization also to make their laws beneficial for all the people of the developing nations also. So this has demonstrated that people also can play an important role in the struggle for fair globalization. This campaign or this type of demonstration also can be made, that can also make sure that people also has an important role in the formation of globalization to make more fairer. So in this chapter we have studied already about the present phase of globalization. It's a process of integration, rapid integration of different countries. We know that all world or the all nations of the world are connected together through these trade policies or foreign affairs policies also. Okay, so here this is happening because of through the greater foreign trade and foreign investment, especially the MNCs. We have studied are also playing such kind of role in globalization process, because MNCs are establishing industries, their own companies or branches in other countries, and also investing largely in all the other countries, especially the developing nations also. So here, as a result of these MNCs or the globalization process, the production is being organized in a complex ways, we know. So the some other important points we have studied here is liberalization of trade and investment. Liberalization policies making the removal of the trade barriers or the trade restrictions. When the governments in developing nations have removed the trade barriers or the restrictions, globalization takes place all over the world, because when there is a restriction, the MNCs do not enter in other countries for investments. Now if there are no restrictions or no trade barriers, easily the MNCs can establish the industries in other countries and largely invest also. That's all for today. The chapter has ended here.